He is a god of the game.
Same old, same old. Arsenal getting bullied, Norwich City forgetting the line between bravery and naivety, Liverpool producing a commanding performance at Anfield, whereas their arch rivals Manchester United still finding it hard to break teams who defend deep. A crazy weekend at LaLiga with Real both scoring and conceding 3 against Levante. Serie A started with Ronaldo getting booked for celebrating an offside goal, and in Bundesliga, well, Dortmund continue to disappoint. Same old, same old.
Absolutely world class.
Welcome everyone to episode 26 of Sports Charcha, where we had all the European leagues started properly now, and we had a quite of non-football things to also to talk about. Now to do that, as usual, let's welcome Ishan.
Hi guys, hope you're having a great start to the week. Excited to talk about what happened in the leagues this weekend.
Great. Now let's start with the usual English Premier League. Now EPL had an eventful game week, but let's start at North London, where Chelsea defeated Arsenal 2-0, goals from Lukaku and Reece James. But Ishan, first things first, Lukaku.
Man, Lukaku made, and we knew this in a way because, he's not the same Lukaku who played for Man United. We've discussed this over multiple podcasts where he is just a far superior forward right now, especially after the tutelage of Antonio Conte. And it showed. It was his first game for Chelsea after 8-10 years at least.
About 6-7 years, Aram.
Yeah. And it felt like he'd never left. He fitted in and he literally made the Arsenal defense feel like they were children in a Sunday league game. The way he shoved Mari to get through on goal for the first goal, Mari felt like he was swatting a fly, and it was just unbelievable how actually not just Lukaku, how easy Chelsea had it. I thought after the Brentford loss, Arsenal would at least give some kind of a fight, but it was not like they didn't try hard. They were just so inferior.
Yeah, man, it was really bad. See, Lukaku, we all know he is good. We are not doubting his performance. We're not doubting his ability. He's really tough to defend against. But Arsenal's performance didn't help either. Like as you said, Pablo Mari was absolutely getting bullied left, right and center. Like we all got to know, it was very clear to see this is how Chelsea are going to play. And I felt like Arsenal did nothing to stop that. I mean, Lukaku was simply holding the ball and let people like Mount, Reece James, Alonso, Havertz to run behind him. And he was just simply passing the ball to them. The two goals, first goal and the second goals, Reece James had acres of space in front of him to run. Kieran Tierney was totally off his position and he did nothing to stop Reece James getting into those areas. Even Bukayo Saka did nothing from the defensive side to stop Reece James getting into those positions. Attacking standpoint, I thought Arsenal were better than what they did against Brentford. Like not a benchmark you should compare Arsenal with, but still, you have to say the teams, if you're looking at the teams, Chelsea are a far, far superior team, very well coached. I mean, let me just go through their bench. They had Thiago Silva, Kante, Timo Werner, Chalobah, Kurt Zouma, Ben Chilwell, Hakim Ziyech. They were just a far superior team, and it could have ended 4-0 final. I felt Chelsea took it off a little easier in the second half.
I think what's actually scary was that most of the Chelsea team still haven't figured out how to play with Lukaku, right? They're working towards building that chemistry, and it was still so dominant. So it's a very scary prospect for Chelsea as a whole when other teams are looking at Chelsea. They're going to be really tough to beat this season.
Yeah, and this is how they are going to score tons of goals this season. The way they scored the first goal, second goal, you could expect that from Chelsea a lot from this season. Now, if Chelsea stormed their authority as a title contender through this victory, the other title contender, who is Manchester United, they faced a similar problem. Pretty much the problem that they were facing under Ole for a while now. Like unable to break defenses, running out of ideas.
I think so. I have to give big props to Southampton the way they played. I remember both of us were really counting them out of the surviving in this league after the first game. And they really gave it their all, especially the home crowd cheering them on really helped them. The atmosphere was great at St. Mary's. And yes, United missed a beat there. My first issue with Ole was why did he have to change a team that did so well in the first game?
Yes.
Right? Anthony, the formation change, Anthony Martial. I'm not a big fan. Let's be very honest of Anthony Martial, and he didn't offer anything. Chances were there, but they were not very clear-cut chances. Bruno Fernandes, like he always does, he plays two great games and then is missing in the next couple of games. But yeah, meaning they're really missing Cavani. Cavani being there would add that attacking potency that they really didn't have. But I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Paul Pogba, who is I don't think I have ever seen him play so well, so beautifully. He is literally a delight to watch when he's in this flow. Like 5 assists in 2 games, and he had 3 the entire last season.
Yeah.
That is something, and but yeah, they missed a beat. It's still the beginning of the season. They're still Varane has not started. Sancho still not come to grips with the Premier League. So it'll take time. I'm giving them some time. But yeah, these are matches they need to win. So I was just thinking in the future, Chelsea versus United, Lukaku versus Varane will be a matchup to watch.
Yeah, in fact, I'm waiting for the next weekend, like Liverpool versus Chelsea. Lukaku versus Van Dijk will be the first straight for us all to watch. Now, Tino Livramento, Southampton's right back, had a really good game. Actually, he won the man of the match. He was also one of those Chelsea youngsters who had to leave the club to play, to get games. So, yeah, that's one good thing. Now, let's round up all the other results we were just talking about. Liverpool, they won 2-0 against Burnley at Anfield. Pretty much a regulation win. Liverpool were in control. Yes, there were a few chances. Yeah. Burnley had a few chances, but Liverpool looked pretty much in control. Jota and Mane scored. I thought Tsimikas had a very good game. Robertson is injured, but Tsimikas filled in pretty well. Aston Villa 2, Newcastle 0. Ings scored a spectacular overhead kick. Otherwise, there's nothing much to talk about. Newcastle being Newcastle, it's going downhill for them. Crystal Palace 0, Brentford 0. That's it. There's nothing much to talk about this game. Leeds 2, Everton 2. Leeds back at Ellen Road playing their first Premier League game in front of the fully packed home crowd. That was a great game actually. It was a wonderful game to watch. Man City 5, Norwich 0. Pretty familiar sight. Not just with Man City. I have problems with Norwich City. I mean, agree they lost their first 2 games against Liverpool and Manchester City, but they are making the same mistakes again. It's like the same 2019-20 Norwich City all over again. If they continue to do this, they're going to get relegated their ass off this season also. Brighton 2, Watford 0. Wolves 0, Tottenham 1. Now see, Tottenham moved on from Jose Mendes, Portuguese coach who wins boring 1-0 games, to a Jose Mendes, Portuguese coach who wins boring 1-0 games. Nuno Espirito Santos is just a better looking Jose Mourinho. It feels like that.
I don't know about better looking, man. Mourinho is quite the looker in his youth.
I love Nuno's beard. It's a better beard actually.
Yeah, that's true. Once we go live on video with this podcast, everyone, you'll see the weekly changes in Bala's appearance. But I think the one interesting point out of that game, I think, was Kane coming on from the bench to replace Son. All eyes were on Kane because he was on the bench for the first time this season. Still a lot of doubts about if he's going to be at Spurs or not. As the weeks or that days go by, it looks more likely that he's going to be at Spurs. I think the one thing we missed was Jack Grealish scored his first goal for Manchester City. Probably the easiest goal he'll ever score. He didn't know too much about it. It just hit his thigh and went in. If he had worn those shin pad higher, it probably would have missed. But it went in. But I think, great start by Tottenham. Yeah, both of us were saying that harenge. They got lucky in the first game. But 1-0 is still a 3-point game. So good on them. They're in the top three right now in the Premier League. So if they keep it up, you never know.
Now, it was not just EPL, even La Liga had crazy game week 2. And to start with the craziness, Ishan, Levante 3, Real Madrid 3. Were you surprised?
I was not surprised, but one thing I'm really happy about, which has changed from last season, is that we are at least scoring goals. Last season was a bit of a drudge for us to score goals. It was either Benzema or nothing. But we scored 4 in the first game and 3 now. Yes, we should have easily won this game. We were dominant in the first half. The second half, I think we lost our minds. We forgot how to defend. Alaba, Nacho, they were not very good in their defensive positioning. And great goal. If anyone has seen the highlights, Jose Campagna with a great volley for the second goal, which is a brilliant finish. No chance for Courtois. But two things that happened, which I'm very happy about. Ancelotti went into throwback 2014 mode, starting Benzema, Isco, and Bale, and all of them played really well. Bale, in fact, scored his first goal for Real Madrid in about 600 days, and it was a great finish. And he's playing really well, to be honest. And Vinicius, man, I don't know what Ancelotti has done. He's learned how to finish. Both the goals he scored were amazing finishes. The second one, especially in the 85th minute, that actually got us the draw, was an incredible finish. And, if you see the highlights closely, from normal pace, you think it was a fluke. You feel like he was going to cross, but it was actually a deliberate attempt, and it was a great goal. Check it out if you want. But I'm not too disappointed. A draw is a draw. It's early in the season.
From now on, what? Vinicius starting over Hazard, or still Hazard starting?
Yeah, man. I don't know. Hazard and the referee, who runs more, it's a competition, because all I see Hazard doing is just running without the ball. It's sad, man. Like, he's looking very fit. That's a relief. He's played 2 games on the trot, which is again a very new thing for me. But I think more games under his collar. I don't see him not starting if he's fit.
Barcelona too drew their game against Athletic Bilbao at San Mamés. Barca too had a lot of defensive issues. PK went off injured somewhere in the 30th minute. Eric Garcia not only had a horrible game, but also sent off towards the end of the game. But some of the positives, Memphis Depay, it looks like he's been playing with Barcelona forever. He's taken the control and he's doing really well. De Jong had a fantastic game. Pedri finally getting a leave, a vacation. He's off, like he's going off on a 2 weeks vacation finally. So that's actually a good thing in a sense that the guys are finally getting a break. But other than that, not many positives for Barcelona. Like, it's the same old problems. It's not, they didn't draw this game not because they didn't have Messi in their team. Even if Messi was there in the team, this game would have ended in a draw or a loss. Great.
See, I want to give a big shout out to Inaki Williams, who has not missed a game for the last 2.5 years as a centre forward for Athletic Bilbao, which is incredible. And being matched up, I think in the first 5 minutes, he must have realized that Eric Garcia is like, a lovely piece of fresh meat that he can eat, because Eric Garcia actually looks so small in the La Liga. I saw him play a couple of games for City. He looked like a decent defender, but he just looks very small and minuscule. And Inaki Williams just shoved him around like a piece of cake. And, to make, as you said, make matters worse, PK got injured. He got sent off. I'm still surprised how Koeman does not start Araujo, because he's such a great player. And he'll obviously now start. So it's going to be interesting. Defense is still a very big weakness for Barcelona.
All right, moving on to other results. Atletico continued their winning run. Angel Correa scored again. They defeated Elche 1-0. And the one who assisted is their new signing, Rodrigo de Paul. This goal was pretty much an action replay of Argentina's goal against Brazil in the Copa America finals. It's Rodrigo de Paul launching a ball and Angel Correa running towards it. Goalkeeper makes a mistake and then makes a mistake and he converts into a goal. Otherwise, Atletico it's a 1-0 Atletico game, guys. I mean, there's nothing much to talk about that. Covering up other results, La Liga had a lot of draws this weekend. Real Betis won, Cadiz won, Granada, Valencia 1-1, Espanyol, Villarreal 0-0. Yeah, nothing really significant happening. There are other two more games left that are happening tonight. In fact, there is Getafe versus Sevilla. That will be a good game. So if you want to watch, it's on MTV. The Italian league Serie A started with a bang with few usual results and one unusual result. But we'll start with the champions, Inter beating Genoa 4-0. Their new signings, Dzeko and Çalhanoğlu, both scored and gave an assist. A very wonderful start for them. All the negativity that was surrounding the club with Lukaku leaving, with the owners not investing any more money, selling Hakimi. This is a great start for Inter. Just to remind you guys, they also signed Denzel Dumfries, the Dutch star. If you guys had watched Euro 2020, he was really good. He was probably the only positive that came out of Netherlands in the Euros. But moving on to the game, which actually made a lot of on-field and off-field news, Juve blew a 2-goal lead to draw against Udinese. Did you watch the highlights of this game? It was so damn funny.
Yeah, the title of the highlight should just be Wolchek Chesney.
Oh, what a
No other word.
horrendous mistake. Now, Juve scored the first two goals. Dybala scored the first goal and Cuadrado scored the second goal. Udinese came back after scoring a penalty, and then, as Ishan mentioned, a horrible error from Chesney that led to their second goal. Did you see who scored that second goal for Udinese?
No.
It was Gerard Deulofeu. Remember Gerard Deulofeu?
Oh my God. Oh my God. He's in Udinese?
Yeah, the exact same reaction. I saw it like Deulofeu. Oh, he's in Udinese. Wow. Yeah, he's actually a very good player. Poor fellow, like had a lot of injury issues and like his career didn't take off. But let's talk about the topic. Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo. To start with, Ronaldo before the beginning of the game asked Allegri to bench him. Apparently, now this is again what we heard in the news, quote unquote. Asked Allegri to bench him, came off as a sub, scored a winner, which is supposed to be a winner, like 3-2. He scored the third goal, went off, took off his jersey, celebrated, got a yellow card, and the goal was ruled offside. So he ended up not scoring a goal, but getting a booking. But let's forget all this. What is going on? Like, what's Ronaldo's situation right now with Juventus, if you can?
So, I was reading up on what Fabrizio Romano had said on this situation. There's a pretty strong piece of inside information that Ronaldo has asked to leave. Now, the challenge, obviously, we don't know where. PSG for sure has ruled out getting Ronaldo because obviously it will be if they can afford Ronaldo now, it's a bit sick. So I don't think PSG is going to go for Ronaldo. The challenge right now is that Juventus have not planned for a season without Ronaldo. So they have been very insistent that Ronaldo is going nowhere, no matter the losses. And for people who do not know, Juventus incur a huge loss with the salary that Ronaldo is on, especially due to COVID. Hence, that entire European Super League came about. Yes, Ronaldo has been a huge success in terms of goals and contribution for Juventus, but his salary was just not the salary structure Juventus ever had, and they broke that, and that has not proved to be a very sustainable model. And then COVID happened, so they are in a dire situation that nobody talks about. Everyone who's interested in Serie A, you should read up on this, because everyone talks about Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Barcelona struggling financially, but Juventus is in deep shit. They would welcome somebody who would want Ronaldo to take the salary off, but currently does not exist a club right now at this stage, and plus it's too late for Juventus to then look for another 30-goal equivalent forward when the season started. So they've found themselves in a bit of a fix right now, Juventus, because they're not very sure where Ronaldo's angst is coming from. I heard a rumor saying Ronaldo might actually move to Spurs, which is going to be funny if that happens, because that's a Mendes club. So that would be a little strange to see.
Yeah, if that happens, if Ronaldo goes to Tottenham, like that's the end of the world, dude. Like let him, like watch him play at Europa Conference League. That would be quite a sight. All right, great. Now, see, we actually don't know what's going to happen. There's still about 8 days left in the transfer window to end. Now, if doesn't happen, looks a bit unlikely at this point of time. But look, we don't know. A lot of crazier things have happened over the years, and there's still 8 days, and 8 days is a long time in football. Now, if let's say, just for hypothetical sake, if let's say Ronaldo continues to stay in Juventus, he still has 1 year contract left, I believe. So next year, his contract is ending. Look at the number of players who are out of contract by the end of next year. Ronaldo, Pogba, Mbappe. I think Leon Goretzka also in Bayern who hasn't renewed his contract. Who am I missing? Any big names I'm missing? Haaland becomes not a free agent technically, but at least there is a release clause in him. Like if we are talking about this transfer window being crazy, I am totally looking forward to the next one. It's going to be even crazier actually.
It's literally there was a rumor and an article going along that Real Madrid have piped in at least 4 of those players for next season because you look at Modric, Cruz, Casemiro, all of their contracts end next year, and that's also a lot of salary going out if they don't renew these. So Madrid potentially have a great opportunity next year to completely rebuild their squad.
Yeah, great. Now let's quickly run through the other results in Serie A before we close it out. Roma under Mourinho had a winning start. Roma 3, Fiorentina 1. Lazio also had a winning start. Same result 3-1. Napoli 2-0 defeated Venezia. Atalanta again a winning start 2-1. So there are no surprises there. And there's still 2 more games to happen in Serie A. Now, Serie A, I don't think it's available on TV yet. I mean, there was a tweet that it was available on Voot, but I couldn't find it on Voot anywhere. So I'm not sure whether it's actually available or not yet. So, okay, we'll wait for that. Indian football fans, we are being a little unfortunate this season. We are not able to watch both Messi and Ronaldo. Hopefully, we'll get to watch them both in the Champions League. Ishan, let me just say this to you, and this is to you too, listeners. Next time I bring up Dortmund being title favorites, please, मुझे छप्पल फेंक के मारो. I will never say that again. They lost 2-1 to Freiburg. We were just talking about this last week. Freiburg are the Crystal Palace of Bundesliga, and then they lost to Crystal Palace 2-1. Haaland had a bad game. He's still growing frustrated. Would you be surprised if Haaland makes a move this winter?
No. If he stays, he's going to stay for the full season. A winter signing for a player like Haaland is not happening because that's a mid-season huge influx of funds a club would need to have. So you're expecting big clubs to either be struggling at that point to need somebody like Haaland. Why would Haaland want to go to that kind of a club mid-season? He might as well have his options open for next year. The other very interesting point, and just we're digressing a little, is Haaland comes with Mino Raiola, who comes with a lot of agent fees. So a 75 million buyout next year can be touted to about 100 million with Raiola getting money, but 175 to 200 is not workable for most of probably any club. So those are factors that should be taken into account when we look at Haaland. But like Borussia Dortmund, players change, players come and go, managers come and go, but they're the same, man. They give everyone hope in the beginning of the season, and then they just crumble. And, yes, it's the beginning of the season. Bayern are also not playing very well, but not beating Freiburg is a little disappointing. They had a lot of chances. Jude Bellingham had some clear-cut chances that he missed. It's just same old from Dortmund, which is very worrying and for the fans as well.
Yeah, and to round off other results, Leipzig had a great result after their initial days loss to Mainz. They defeated Stuttgart 4-0, a great victory for them. And Bayern defeated Cologne 3-2. Again, their first victory in the league, actually. In fact, if you remember last week, they won the German Super Cup defeating Dortmund. And they followed that with a 3-2 win. Lewandowski scored again. Gnabry scored twice. Leverkusen defeated Mönchengladbach 4-0. Other than that, there were just too many draws. So that is about Bundesliga. Today in Speed Point, we are going to talk about India's performance at the World Athletics Under 20 Championships. Now see, post-Olympics, we are kind of hooked into these kind of Olympic sports to see how we perform. And see, this is Under 20 Championships. So mostly the next Olympics will probably see these Indian athletes performing at the biggest stage. Now this has been the best performance ever for us with 3 medals, 2 silver medal and 1 bronze. So 1 silver medal coming from the long jump, Shaili Singh the athlete, another silver medal coming from a 10-kilometer race, a walk race from Amit Khatri, and a 3rd place medal for a 4x400 meter relay. It's a mixed 4x400 meter relay actually. The team has Bharat, Priya, Mohan, Sami and Kapil. Now to all these athletes and to everyone else who participated and missed the medal by a whisker or produced a great performance, and to all these athletes, we wish them great success and hoping to see them all back in the next Olympics competing for India. The Paralympics 2020 is beginning tomorrow on 24th August and ending on 5th September. India will participate with their biggest ever contingent. We are sending 54 athletes to participate, and we are going to compete in 9 different disciplines. That includes, I think, archery, athletics, badminton, taekwondo. I think badminton and taekwondo we are participating for the first time ever. Now, all the best to all our athletes. The way we supported our Indian athletes in the Summer Olympics game, let's provide the same amount of support and cheer these guys also, and all the best everyone. That's about it for today, guys. We will see you either on Friday or mostly on Saturday. We'll probably do a podcast after the Champions League draws are done. So we will discuss the groups and give our own sort of predictions. So until then, it's bye from Bala.
Bye from Ishan, guys.
Thank you everyone for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, and also please, like we're literally begging, to rate our podcast on whichever app you are listening to. It not only helps us, but also new listeners to easily find our podcast. You can also reach out to us on Twitter @SportsCharcha. A big shout out to the Jam Room Audio for our theme music. You can follow the Jam Room on Facebook @the Jam Room Audio. Bye.